have to read the secret password. Read what's on there.
This isn't a password.
Sweetheart, the court will appoint a public defender, and sometimes they're the best.
Father, if you don't know, they'll put him in the electric chair.
What are you made up for?
Hush. We gotta prepare ourselves to enter the world of the spirits.
Try and pull you back up to the ledge.
Albert Kavanaugh. Thank you, Albert Kavanaugh. Walk up and down the river with the moon. Did you know, Chansey, no matter how far you walk, the moon always walks with you. All the way and back again. You watch up the moon while you walk, and there it is, walking slow and steady with you. Grandfather, please.
It's settled.
When do I have to go?
Don't you see, Uncle Tim? I've got no choice. Just like you said when you walked out yesterday. I'll do anything to keep from being sent away to some stuck-up school.
But you don't understand, Jamie. You see, they'll accuse me of kidnapping you.
I understand, all right.
I guess he's still at work. Is this Wendy?
No.
Sorry, who's calling? Any message?
No message. Celia Casella, 555-3875. Oh,
You didn't know about it?
No. I swear I didn't. You're doubting me. How can you do that? That's like doubting your own daughter.
You're not my daughter, Amy.
But I could be. Didn't you ask me the other day if I was available? Well, I'm available.
Amy, listen.
I can move in with you right now. Cook all your meals. I make terrific sandwiches. You like peanut butter? Salami. I could even make egg sandwiches.
Amy, would you shut up and listen to me for a minute?
Well, I almost got away with it. You must admit, Mr. McGarrett, it was a clever plan.
Clever, huh?
Everybody who wears a marriage band argues.
Well, maybe, but I don't know if they argue that heavy.
I became friends with this incredible, wonderful woman when I first got to LA. I think she was one of my actual first friends that I met in Los Angeles. And seriously? I think so. I do. I think so. I mean, you know, and we were just, you know, at Bobby McGee's. I was Jim Bob Joe, and we were both, you know, doing our thing, entertaining the customers as we fed them food. And then I think it was like 3 or 6 months after we became friends and we're hanging out, I found out she was on one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And I was like, Dynasty?
Oh my God. Anything can happen in Los Angeles. You never know.
I know. Well, I'm going to... And the voice that you are hearing right now is this dear, dear friend of mine. I mean, she's just, I am thankful that I have met her and that I could call her friend. The wonderful Katy Kurtzman.
Hi.
Hello, honey.
Hi, baby.
Hi.
Hi.
So, what's new?
What's new? Well, this is new.
I know,
We
right?
haven't done this yet. Before we used to work together a lot. We used to do things through Meet the Biz, and also uh, Friends of Californians with Disabilities and Media Access, and of course the class you taught over at
Joey Drolpas.
inclusion
Yeah.
and all that. But when we met, you actually trained me. It was my very first and only waitressing job
Right.
that I had when I was desperate for money and not teaching as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And going through lots of life changes. And my boyfriend at the time, who later became my husband, suggested I go wait tables. I said, I'd no sooner become a prostitute. Well, you could do that. You could do that. And I thought, well, maybe I'd rather wait tables than become a prostitute. Sorry, but it's such a cliche thing. Nothing against people who wait tables, because that's a hard job. Hard job. I was not very good at it.
I thought you were very good at it.
Thank you.
I thought yeah.
Well, I was a good character.
Right.
But not a good waitress. It was a character restaurant, and I used to hide my faux pas behind my character.
What do you think I did?
Filled. I had a big top. It was like a 35 people for somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
And I played the French maid, and I had this really hokey accent, and I was refilling the birthday boys. Did I tell you the story?
I vaguely
remember. Birthday boys iced tea. You might have been there. Iced tea, and I picked up his iced tea, and he's sitting right here, and I pouring the iced tea sideways, and a whole slew of white ice went straight into his lap, and the whole restaurant went silent. And okay, how do I deal with this? And so I just burst out laughing, and said mailed or something like that, and my god awful French accent, and the whole table started to laugh, and we just, I told the manager, and they gave him a discount, and he got his dinner, but he looked at me like, I can't believe he. I was not a great waitress. I wasn't a great waitress, but I was very entertaining.
Beside that, I was going to say you were a great actress. You are a great actress. You are. I mean, I was watching some of your clips, and I mean, what age did you start acting?
I was 4 when I started studying, and then I started working professionally at 5.
You were so you are so real in everything you do. I mean, and you have that availability and emotionality, and it still draws me in, and it brings me back to memories to watch those classic TV shows you've been on.
Well, you're very kind.
I'm telling the truth.
Very sweet. It was another age. I mean, things were a little campier back then. You could get away with a lot more. Okay. I think that my work later, like when you and I worked together on Hyde, and if you were frozen now again. No, you were just holding still. When you and I worked together later on, I think that my work got more real as I got older, because I kept studying, and of course the style changed.
Yeah.
But when I was young, and I, doing commercials and then theatrical work, it was the work was big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a large character anyway, just in terms of let's put it this way.
Yeah.
When I act now, or haven't in a while, but when you and I worked together in I think it was 2008.
Yeah.
on hide. And anytime I actually work, I have to work at bringing the energy down. I really have to stop and focus and really watch the other person and listen to what they're saying and keep it simple, less, even less than that. Because just normally I'm animated.
Mm.
You know, I'm like, "Moo," you know, I just, um,
I used
I'm,
to, I did that too. I mean, growing up, I was like, shtick.
yes, da 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 da. You know, you were just that was that was the '70s.
Yeah.
That was what we
Yes.
did. We
And though I was watching when you were looking up at the moon, and I forgot that show, but you were saying, look at the,
talking about the moon following.
yeah, or the moon following you as you walk. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that was the Awakening Land.
Oh, come to me, girl. Come to your pa. Rosa.
You're safe now. Why are you so white?
Am I?
Is your heart jumping?
I think so.
Let me listen. It's not jumping much. Only a little. It must be all the walking and running you're doing, Chansey. It's good for your heart.
I didn't know I could run. But when you're frightened.
Chansey, you ever go walking in the woods?
Sometimes.
I don't mean the little woods. I mean the deep woods, where they haven't chopped down the big trees yet. I'll take you, and then you can hear the trees talk. They say, Jack.
Trees can't talk, Rosa.
Yes, they can. When the wind blows the tops, the big buds bend a little and crack. They say, Jack. Jack.
Can the trees say Chansey?
I never heard them. But we can walk in the woods together and listen for it.
You walk a lot, don't you?
Best I like walking at night, along the river.
At night? Does your mom let you?
No, but I beg her. Give me a minute, Mama. Just a minute. Then I run out of the house. Walk up and down the river with the moon. Did you know, Chansey, no matter how far you walk, the moon always walks with you. All the way and back again. You watch up the moon while you walk, and there it is, walking slow and steady with you.
Rosa, when you're walking in the woods, or with the moon, take longer steps.
Why?
Because every step you take is one step less in your life.
Oh, Chance, no. It's not true.
I heard it's true. Maybe that's why Mom never leaves the house. Maybe she's saving steps so she won't die too soon.
Chansey, we should never talk about dying. Don't let you and I ever think about dying.
I must go now.
Well, wait. I must, Chansey.
All right.
Don't you forget me.
I can never forget you.
Worked all day. I was on location,
Yeah.
It wasn't my first location thing, but that was like still really early on. I think that was, well, okay, I did commercials until I was 11, and then I started doing theatricals, and then pretty much all I was doing was theatricals, and I just because of when every day was the 4th of July,
Oh,
when that happened,
yeah.
I just started booking work like crazy.
Yeah.
So that was not that long after when every day was the 4th of July. Um, let me see. I did like 6 things in a year. I mean, I was just like bam, 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 bam. We're working, 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 working. And I think that shoot was hard because it was on location in Illinois. We were working in that. It was a national park in Springfield. That was where Lincoln had been a postmaster, or he ran the post office. And we're talking log cabins, and that thing that we were under, that was a carding mill.
Yeah.
They would walk these ox, and the whole thing would spin, and it would run the mill inside. And the carding mill, carding is where you take, and boy, my ADD head. I'm just going to tell you the whole story about, anyway. You don't need to know it. But that was an evening shoot. It was after the sun went down. Maybe that was like 8 hours into a day. And we had banked a bunch of schools, so we were just working, which is actually easier than going in and out of school.
So here's the thing. You played Heidi. You were in Fantasy Island. You were in The Love Boat. I mean, how many roles did you do, and what was your favorite?
I think I did. Gosh, I think it was 11 movies of the week, 14 guest spots, 30 some odd commercials, a 6-hour miniseries, 1 feature film, series of shorts. It's hard to say what my favorite was, at least to work on, but my favorite movie that I was in was When Every Day Was the 4th of July.
It's classic.
It's really, really a really great film.
Yeah, it is.
Next time you mind your own business or it'll be worse.
Snowman, you scared me. Red Doyle kicked my magazine back in the sewer. Now I can't get it out. What am I gonna do, Snowman? If I don't get them, I have to pay for them. And that's why I'm selling the Saturday Evening Post. I know the end of the world special's never going to come. And Daniel's going to be awfully disappointed. He and Charlie Wilson, that's his friend, took back just about every soda bottle in Bridgeport to pay for it. Ow. I'm sorry. It doesn't hurt. When I get $5, I'm going to take a bus to Easton and buy him crackers and pinwheels and everything. Of course, it won't be as terrific as this. But nothing's that terrific. You want to subscribe? But that costs $2. Can you write, Snowman? It's okay to print. Albert Kavanaugh. Thank you, Albert Kavanaugh.
That's my part, that one.
Yeah.
Because it dealt with bullying and people with disabilities. And at the time, I couldn't read. I was 11. We used to hide the fact that I couldn't read from the production.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Lawrence private school, which is a school for the educationally handicapped. I have visual processing disorder.
Yeah.
And have since I was, little. And so I was always an EH kid. And my disability isn't really visible.
Mm.
Some people you run into, they either have like little Asperger's-y quirks or they have a physical disability. But this is a developmental disability, and they're a little bit more outwardly obvious with their disability, but mine is more hidden.
Yeah.
And so I really connected with the character Sarah wanting to rescue the snowman, or Albert. We nicknamed him the Snowman because he was almost albino.
Yeah.
Because he'd lost pigmentation. He had a brain injury from being in the First World War.
Mm-hmm.
And he was mistreated badly.
Yeah.
And he, I don't want to give away the story,
right,
but he was accused of a murder that she believed he did not commit. And all kinds of accusations came after him. And it that kind of thing still goes on today.
Yeah.
People who appear as other you know, that guy's weird, therefore he must have done blah blah blah, or there's something wrong with the person. And so they're an easy target. They're either an easy target for abuse or for a legal system that doesn't have the right kind of accommodation for people. Like, for instance, it was a few years ago, but a young man was arrested walking to the market because the officers believed he was on drugs when in fact you remember this?
Yeah.
When in fact he had autism.
Yes.
And he couldn't communicate the way that, you know, so they slapped this human being in handcuffs and arrested him because he was walking to the store with autism. You know how it's still a
People
problem.
aren't trained. People aren't trained. I mean, they need to be trained, and actually everybody should take a class in humanity and being kind.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah. So being a special person,
Yeah.
I related to this character being compassionate toward somebody who had specialness.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Well, you've done several, I mean, you've done so many characters. In fact, I mean, you did 2 episodes in the classic
Little House.
Little House.
Yeah.
Little House on the Prairie. What? The Magic Box, and I remember.
The music box.
Yeah.
There's Allison and I. Can you see that?
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Isn't that cute? That's Allison and I. Yeah, the music box. That was a great one because I was being bullied. In that one, I was a stutterer, which is really. Is Allison right there?
Huh?